All right, so we lied to you guys earlier this morning. We lied to you guys about NIO only having 2 good things coming out this weekend. We lied. There's more. Of course there is. There's always good news coming out with NIO. So that's probably why the stock's going down, because that's the way it works around here. So there's a report that JP Morgan Chase reiterated their buy rating and their price target of $70 over the weekend, saying that their earnings that NIO delivered this past week was a clean beat and a surprise, which is good news because, I feel like I've seen mixed reviews on NIO's earnings, but they're most positive. I don't know how somebody can have mixed feelings about that, considering they completely destroyed it, right, beating all of the expectations and everything. But they said that despite the chip shortage, the price of materials being increased because everything's becoming more expensive, and the battery supply competition, that NIO still came out on top, still beat all their expectations, still delivered a record number of cars, and they're just killing it. And I'm like, you know what? I couldn't agree more with that statement. I could not agree more. Despite everything and all the overwhelming pressure coming from NIO and the sector in general, just everything being trash, NIO still came out on top. Yeah, the stock didn't really do much, that day. I think it went down before earnings and then went up the next day. But I think they did a really good job. A really good job.
Yeah, with all the chip crap going on, I know we just keep talking about chip shortage all the time, but
right,
that's the biggest issue with this whole sector, and where a lot of the fear is the chip stuff. And with the whole chip crap going on, they were able to beat. So they met their original expectation. They did lower it to, I think it was 19,500, but
right.
Their original was like 20,000 to 20,500. So they did meet their original goal, which is good. So.
Right.
Can't really complain about that.
Right. But JP Morgan also did say that they expect, positive things coming out of NIO within the next year or two. They said they still expect this company to achieve 106 and 93% volume growth in the years 21 and 22. So they're still seeing this, everything double within the next 2 or 3 years, which, we've talked about it before, that we see the exact same thing. I'm telling you, man, I'm still very bullish on NIO, and I'm still seeing this thing easily at $500 within the next 5 years. Easily.
Yeah, especially with them expanding and into other countries, and eventually getting into more places in Europe and
right,
US, and just I'm sure there's going to be other countries after that. And they're already building new factories to support this growth. So
right. And I mean,
they're growing like crazy.
Right. They're growing like weeds. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong here. They could be negative, they could be at 60 cents in 5 years. But with everything they're doing, all the good news coming out, the amount of money that they're being supported by, the government's backing them, and they're just pushing, and China growing as an EV, and they're pushing into Europe. And I'm sure they're going to be coming to the States because they have the building in I think it's San Jose, California. They brought cars over here. I think they're headed to the States, just a matter of time, and it's just big catalyst for them, and I think that's going to be a good thing. I think it's going to be a great thing to see. But yeah, again, they did, JP Morgan did reiterate their buy rating of, their buy rating and the $70 price target, which is actually like an increase of almost 80% from where it was on Friday, which is pretty much where we're at now. So
yeah, that'd be all right.
80% upside would be really good, by year end. So. Yeah, I think it'll be a good thing. And if we look at the stock real quick before we hop into the next part of news. So this morning when we made the video, we were, over in the green area when it's rocketed all the way up to $41. Well, it's pulled back now down to just under the $40 mark, holding the $39.80 mark right now. I'm kind of hoping it goes back up above 40 because I really wanted to see 40 be a new support line. And I'm starting to think that 41 is the new resistance because every time we start to push 41, it always falls back. So it'll be interesting to see if it stays above that. The volume's still kind of weak too. We're only at about 56 million. So not looking too hot there. Normally we want to see that around the 100 million. I feel like NIO's been anywhere between 80 and 150 million for really good days. So, when during earnings it was pushing 100 million. So I think that's why we saw so much volatility, and that's why it ran up and ran down because of the volume. So hopefully it gets back to that, but we kind of wanted to touch base on that.
We, as we said before, or at least I have said in previous videos, it seems like anytime the stock is up pre-market, it always finishes negative.
Right.
And I think it's just, people just swing trading and day trading this thing. Just, they see 4% profit and they're like, oh, that sounds good, and they just take it out and then wait for it to come down and then buy back in and just
I'm
rinse
not
and
gonna lie
repeat.
to you, it's working. It works. These people.
I mean, they're making money.
Yeah, you can't argue with them. They're taking advantage of this market and doing what's best. I know, we're long-term players, so it kind of sucks for us, but I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it just gives us longer time to load up while it's cheap, because it's eventually. I think the main thing, like I've said before, is the chip stuff. I think once that's over with, and William Lee, at least NIO can prove that it's not really affecting them.
Right.
Hopefully, by the end of Q3, I think that that's when the stock is really going to start taking off.
Right. I agree.
So let's get into the next juicy part of the news. So NIO confirmed last week that it's going to hold a press conference on the 6th to announce, its whole entry plan into Norway, what their plan is into Norway and just Europe in general. So that's good news. Excited to hear about what they plan on doing, obviously, and what other countries they plan on getting into Europe. Yeah, because Europe, they have, the biggest market for EVs in the world, pretty much just as big as China. They're only bigger by 1 or 2%, but, they could possibly double their sales, which is, fantastic. NIO's planning to enter into Germany in the second half of this year, which, is big news, obviously, and then move into the UK and other countries in Europe. And this was reported by a Chinese media outlet, Auto Home, and I guess they were citing the VP of NIO Europe. So I guess the VP of NIO Europe kind of possibly leaked a little bit of information about the plans. But Germany has some stiff competition over there with BMW and Volkswagen. Volkswagen's been killing the EV game too. Even in Norway, they beat out Tesla for a little bit. I think Tesla did retake the throne, but Volkswagen's doing really good.
Yeah, they're right.
So it's going to be it. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how NIO does over there. They did say that NIO hasn't finalized the models that it plans on selling in Germany and the UK in general. But maybe on the 6th, maybe they'll have that finalized, or at least get some more information on it, which would be nice. The company is also contemplating whether or not to do the battery as a service model in Europe. China, it works really good in the giant cities because no one has garages or anything. So you can't really charge your car if it's out, parked out on the road. So that's why the battery as a service, the battery swap stuff works so good over there.
Right.
But
Right.
they're gonna see if they're gonna bring that over to Europe, which I think. I think it would work, but I think it works better in like huge cities like that.
Right.
It's also kind of attractive because it saves you $10,000 off the price of the car. Like that's
right.
That's a lot of savings.
It's literally raising a lot of questions for me right now, considering like the fact that you're reading, like you're telling me this is, if you don't take the battery service over there, are you still going to get that discounted price, or are the prices going to stay the same as like if you don't get it? Does that change the price of the car, considering it's not even an option to get?
Nah,
like you figure they
the same price.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if that. And also, it makes me wonder if that's the case, if they're not going to send it over to Europe. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Will they send it to the States too? Because the States are kind of the same. We have. I could put I could charge my car here at my house, but like if you live in Chicago, like you don't really have that luxury because everybody's packed in like sardines, and same thing with New York. So it kind of makes me wonder if that's gonna be their thought process for the States as well.
Yeah, they'll just probably have to crunch the numbers and see if it makes sense. Because if a lot of people aren't going to be opting in for it, then they're going to be losing money on that deal.
Right.
Which, you don't want to do that. So I think they should bring it over into Europe and the US and any other country, and just start obviously in the giant cities first. The New York City, the Chicago, those kind of places first, and see how people take to it. Because it is attractive, and that's a big part of why a lot of people, I would think, would go over to NIO. It's because you save 10 grand off the top of the car price, and then I think just being able to swap out the battery is awesome. you know, you get your whatever 400, 600 miles in less than 3 minutes instead of,
right.
you know, having to sit there and charge for 30 minutes or something.
Because that's the worst, honestly.
Yeah.
That'd be terrible.
Yeah, but the company did say that it has superior technology with respect to its product platform and autonomous driver assistance systems. And we know that we've talked about this a little while ago that they're working on, you know, their autonomous driving, and they added an update for their cars, I don't know, a month or two ago to, you know, add some more of those features. The company also said that it's been proactive in implementing several services to make its vehicles cost competitive, which, you know, obviously, you know, you don't want your car to offer the same features, same range and everything, and it be more expensive. That's why I think the ET7 is awesome, because it blows everything out of the water, price-wise and mileage. Like, no one comes close to the range, but also for the price. It's ridiculous. So that's, you know, obviously that's good. You need, you know, more incentives for people to come over your way, especially in Germany, where a lot of people are already going to be used to Volkswagen and BMWs. You know, you gotta make it look more juicy for people to come over to you.
Exactly. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they handle, you know, the whole Europe situation, and if they decide to push this stuff over to Europe, because I think it'll say a lot for what's going to happen in the States if they decide to come over to the United States, which they probably will. But yeah, so that's pretty much gonna wrap this video. Let us know in the comment section below, what do you guys think of the whole situation? Should they send it over? Should they not? What do you guys think of everything? We got links in the description for Patreon if you guys are interested in hopping into our Discord to get you access to our portfolios and the Discord portfolio, where the members get to choose which stocks to put in there and they let it ride through the end of the year. We also got a link down there for Webull, where you deposit $100, you get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,800. So who doesn't love free money at that point? It's cake. Also, link down there for merch if you guys are interested in merchandise as well. But again, thank you guys so much for all the support, and we'll see you in the next video.